So today I have, let me see, about 3 or 4 different routes. I have some pretty long drives, maybe 10 miles, 15 miles in between routes. So I am going to take you on delivering all these cans today. I have 2 20-yarders and a 10-yarder. I'm gonna show you how I get the boxes there, if the driveway is a narrow driveway, with tips and tricks on how you can get the box in with this type of equipment here. This is truck and trailer, 5th wheel. That's a dump trailer back there. All right, so I'll show you some tips and tricks on how to get them boxes in and how to do it efficiently. All right, so let's go. So one of the hardest things to do when you're dropping off cans would be having to go in the morning to dump cans that you already have full in the yard. This ends up being a headache. I'm gonna show you why. You see, I'm in line and I have to wait for everyone to dump before I get here. So my day started with going to the dump. Sometimes these things are out of your control, all right? Because let's say, for example, if you're picking up a bunch of cans in a day, right, that need picked up, and you come to the dump, at least where I'm at, there's one local dump that makes sense for us to continue coming here because it's centralized, right? So if you're coming here and everybody's here and the line's backed up, a lot of times what we do is just pick them all up and get them to the yard, and any open time we're trying to make it to the dump to get them empty. There's pros and cons to that, all right? Pro, you could get all your boxes back and get them to the yard. Now you have your boxes back. The customers aren't calling you tripping about, get this dumpster out my way. I need my yard back or my driveway, whatever. So you get them done. The con is that now you have all of these loaded boxes in the yard. You have calls coming in that you will have to service, and then you have these boxes that you have to go dump before you take them. That ends up eating time. So you have to be aware of what is the best option. It really just comes down to your circumstances and making the call on that day. All right, so we made it here to our first stop. All right, this was about a 40-minute drive, about 30 minutes. I backed in the can all the way from up there, past the awning. There's one thing you have to look for anytime you're dropping off a can. When you're coming into a tight area or into a driveway, always look for awnings, anything overhanging, power lines, stuff like that. Anything that you might be able to rip off, because when you're backing up the can with your rear view, sometimes you're not paying attention to the top. What I try to do is I keep the one closest to me, my driver's side view, where I can see the can, and then the other one to the other side, if I don't need it as much, then I try to point it up to see if there's some power lines that I could keep an eye on. If there's no power lines, I keep the mirrors the same, so that's a little pointer. Let's drop this can. I lifted it up a little bit just so I could get an angle to start dropping off the can a little bit. Let me take you with me. See there? Let me turn this around. You see the wheels? I'm trying to lift it up and get the wheels on the ground. So right around there, boom, we're on the ground. Bam. So now what I'm gonna do, as I'm dropping off the can and I'm letting the cable let go, I'm gonna pull away from the can, so like that I'm not dragging it across the grass and creating holes. So now I'm going to be unhooking the can. That's what I'm doing right now, unhooking the can. That's all she wrote. So now I have to do my paperwork, but it's on the app. We use DRS, all right? That's how it looks like. I don't want to show you too much because there's addresses on here. So I would look up the order for this can. I have the order in front of me. First thing I'm gonna do is take a picture of the can. Where it's placed at. Boom, use photo. So now it's uploading the photo where I placed the can. In case the customer ever pushes the can with a truck because we left it on the wrong place and they damage it, we have proof of that. We are going to assign the box. So this is an important part of DRS system. When you assign the box, it's a tracking number. So it's important to assign the box in DRS system. When you assign the box, DRS system lets the office know, wherever your office people are working at, that the box is assigned to this address and it's tracking it, in other words. So it's as easy as going in here, going to the barcode scanner, looking for the serial number of the box. You assign it to this address, boom, and it's there. So DRS keeps track of all your cans, whether they're in the yard, which ones are in the yard, which ones are on site, how many times they've been rented, if they damage, if they need it. It just does a lot. I'm not sponsored by them. We are not sponsored by them, but I recommend them because this is a game changer right here. So let's go on to our next one. So what is it I do during my drives between dumpsters, between dropping them off, picking them up, all of that stuff? This time for me in the truck is meditation time. I spend very little time on the phone. You know, the people in the office, they take care of all the orders and stuff like that, so I don't have to do none of that. But I listen to different podcasts to learn stuff about YouTube. Listen to church sermons because I am a Christian, and you know I pray to God and all of those things. I listen to Christian hip hop, which I'm a huge enthusiast on that. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna drop a link in the description to my Christian hip hop channel and urban ministry called Psalmist Cypher. So if you're interested on that, you can check that out below. But for you that are traveling, doing your dumpsters in between, take advantage of this time and don't only just listen to music. I mean, you can listen to music all the time. You can listen to music when you're driving home from work and all the other things. Imagine how many times you listen to music all the time in the car. Imagine if you take some of that time and start listening to some educational podcast or listen to a book, because they do have that. Listen to the Bible. You know, take this time right now to educate yourself a little bit, or even just sitting quiet and pray to God. Just center yourself a little bit. this time in between really helps me out to keep myself together. So I just thought I'd drop that in here real quick. All right, so this can here was over. I think they get 2 tons with this can. This is a 20-yard dumpster. They get 2 tons. This one was 3. So I'm gonna dump it, and I'll go over what we do with the ticket here in a second. Get up out of here real quick. Sometimes when it gets busy, instead of doing everything inside the bay, like pulling your box in, closing the door and all of that, you'll come outside and let them do their thing, like clean up the bay so another truck can get in there. You can do it out here and let them do their thing. All right, so this ticket here is 3.020. So it's over. So I'm gonna go into my app, find the ticket, which was from the other day. So this one, TT 2008. All right, so we got that. We're off to deliver this bad boy. We ought to deliver this bad boy. So this one here, is one of those that is going to be tricky. Let me show you here. So the driveway is a little tight, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to keep the wheel, the driver's side wheel, as close to this edge as possible. And we're possibly gonna be driving on the grass a little bit right there on this side, but there's no way around it. But what I wanted to show you is there's an awning right there. So this is the things that you have to look for when you're dropping off a can, that you're aware that, okay, there's an awning right there. I don't want to drive past that because I could knock it down. Also, the corner of the house, that's high. I'm not going to touch that, but I'm just using that as an example, that these are things you're going to have to look for when dropping off a can. There's power lines, I think, in the back. Nah, that ain't to the house, but that's about it. I'm just shooting something for social media, trying to show how I drop off a can. Just like that, we in there. You see what I have the box a little bit over a little bit, because once I lift it up, you want to make sure you're not running into the house when you lift up the can. I'm gonna show you right now. So watch the can. You see what I'm saying? These are all things you want to look out for.
Another tip. Let me turn this around so I know. Another tip right quick. Whenever you're dropping off a can, always stay to each side of the can. Never stand directly behind it, because if the cable ever snaps, that can is gonna come sliding off and it's gonna take you with it. You don't want that. So that's it for this one. We literally have one more can to do, so let's go knock it out. All right, so I dropped off my last dumpster. 2017, she's right there. Just pick them up, dump them, and get them back to the yard. But it's Friday, and I'm about to go to the shop and do some paperwork and possibly edit this video and get it to you. So until the next one, you know, like, share, subscribe to anybody you think might benefit from a channel like this that has to do everything with garbage removal. We're an all-inclusive company. Evictions, dumpsters, trash removal, demo, all of it you could think of, we do it under one roof. And we give you all the tools and our knowledge, so like that if you're in the business, you know what I mean, this channel's for you. So subscribe, do all them things, check out this video because YouTube said you're gonna like it. Peace.